And now I'm thrilled to officially introduce Reverend Julie Moret. She's the author of What's Your What? How to Ignite Your Unique Brand, which we've got outside. She's an accomplished speaker and personal coach. She holds degrees in a wide range of healing modalities, including psychology and neurolinguistic programming. She's featured on Lifetime television channel and enjoys working with clients from a lot of different backgrounds, including Fortune 500 executives, Academy Award winners, New York Times bestseller authors, just a few of those things. She's also a mom of a 5th grader, and yay, like the most important thing there. And she's one of the senior ministers at Agape International Spiritual Center, and just a whole bunch of other stuff. But besides just beautiful, she's just beautiful in spirit, and so we welcome her. Would you welcome Reverend Julie, please?
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Shauna. That was gorgeous. Give them all some love. Y'all have such excellence here. So there is one thing, at least, that I know you and I both have in common, and that is that we have both been through big events. The kind of thing you never saw coming, that at some point, no matter how much we try to live a life tiptoeing between the raindrops, and Lord knows I have tried to live my life tiptoeing between the raindrops, but at some point you get soaked, right? Whether it's a challenge that just pops up from out of the blue in the area of health or finances, love, loss. At some point, we all deal with a biggie. There's probably at least one person right now thinking, oh, that would be me. That would be this very moment. And if it is, lean in, because that's why we're here. The potentially exciting news is that the sheer magnitude of the biggies when they hit means that there is an equally dynamic level of transformation available right on the other side, if you will but let it. That's Newton's 3rd law of physics. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. What does that mean for you? It means you have choice in the challenge. You may not have choice about all the experiences that you have in this world, but you have all the choice in the world about the meaning and the value that you attribute to those experiences. And that's a game changer right there. You get that? Those of you that I'm connected with on social media know that a little bit over a year ago, my house was destroyed in a flood, like brought down to its studs. And my first thought when my living room became a lake was actually not, oh goody, there's an equally dynamic level of transformation available right on the other side of this wet mess. That was not my first thought. If you really know me, you know my first thought as I saw a demolition team pack out every single thing I own. My first thought was, excuse me, those are my shoes. No one messes with my shoes. But fortunately, I've had a strong enough upbringing over at Agape International Spiritual Center with my studies with Reverend Michael Beckwith to know that I have choice in my challenge. So pretty much from the get-go, when things were still wet and messy, pretty much right then and there, I made some decisions. I decided that whole flood deal represented the washing away of all old limiting thoughts, beliefs, and decisions. I decided pretty much from the get-go that it meant the days of playing safe and small are over. Now, I don't really know if that's true. I don't really know if when God was up on her great big etch-a-sketch in the sky, storyboarding the script of my life, if the chapter of Julie's Great Flood was supposed to mean those things. But guess what? Respectfully, I don't care. Because I decided that it's so. I decided that it is time to let go of all old limiting thoughts, beliefs, and decisions. Are you with me on this? Yes. I decided that the days of playing safe and small are over, and a thought backed up by emotion is creative. Got that? A thought backed by emotion is creative. What does that mean for you? It means you hold the key to your own transformation. But guess what? If you hold the key to your transformation, what else does it mean you hold? You hold the lock too. If you got the key, you got the lock. Some of us spend so much time focusing on the lock. It's like, oh, I got a lock, it's locked. How do you unlock a locked lock when it's locked? I got this lock. It's time to focus on the keys that you already hold, yes? Yes. And one of the keys that I uncovered after that whole flood deal is that the rocky path of recovery for whatever it is we're going through is paved with little gold mines all along our way. Our job, spot the gold. So today I want to share some of the gold that I uncovered after my flood situation. And I want to do that because I would imagine that some of you are dealing with a challenge. Or you will, or maybe you're that special person that got tapped to help somebody else make it through. So I'm going to offer up these tools so you'll have them when you need them, when you want them, and you can feel real supported and taken care of when you do. Good? Okay. So the first bit of gold that I uncovered right after the flood appeared to me in the form of a mystic with spiritual Tourette's. This extraordinary real-life character literally appeared in my life right after the flood, immediately became the subject of my next book, and set me creatively on fire. There are gold mines in your landmines. I could never have imagined that losing my home would result in me being so passionately, massively creative and productive. There are gold mines in your landmines. Take a moment right now and scan your own life. What's up? Any hot spots, any challenges, anything you're working through? And ask yourself, can I find the gold here? Can I spot the gold in this situation? Can I find any way in which this situation makes me deeper, wiser, more loving, more understanding, more compassionate? And if you're not spotting it yet, maybe you take a step backwards and you just ask yourself, am I willing? Am I willing to find some gold in this situation? You know, for me, sometimes that's the point where I just have to get down on hands and knees and turn it all over to God, like, dear Lord, I cannot fathom that there is anything of any use in this situation. This one's too much. You went too far here, God, okay? Too much. But I'm going to trust, and I'm going to know that there is a power and a presence and a source and a love and a God that is everywhere always. That means it's right here in this spot. Whatever you're dealing with, it's right in the center of it in this moment. So I'm going to trust that there's something of use, of power, of volition, of purpose right now. I'm going to lean into that. That's what we get to do. So today, I'm going to introduce you to my mystic that I affectionately refer to as having spiritual Tourette's. And the reason why I say that is because he just randomly spits out these spiritual messages to me. No context, no clarification, no like, hey, let's go grab a cup of tea and discuss. It's just like, blah. And then I have to go figure out what the heck he's talking about. One day I was getting ready to go to the bathroom, actually, and the message came through on my phone, and all it said was, intend infinity, which, I'm not going to lie, it's kind of a weird message to get when you're getting ready to go to the bathroom. But another day, I was eating from a jar of dark chocolate chipotle almonds, and all of a sudden, the message pops up on my phone, and it says, seek emptiness. I look around like, is he watching me? Like, I don't know, I'm not sure. I think I was just given permission to eat all the chocolate almonds. I like this one. And then most recently, I was working out. I was at the gym. You know, I'm doing my leg lifts, handling my business. And the message pops up, and it says, review your compass. I was a little lightheaded from working out. At first, I thought it said, review your rumpus. And I was like, what? He is watching me. I'm trying. But anyway, these little kernels of gold, they all bring us to this bright, wonderful moment, which is review your compass, seek emptiness, and intend infinity. You with me? Yes? Yeah. All right, we're going to go now. First up, review your compass. What is a compass? A compass is a navigation tool. It helps you get where you want to go. The first known compass dates back to about 600 BC. But I think compasses existed long before that. I think we human beings are born with our own built-in compass, our own built-in navigation system that guides us to the most perfect circumstances, places, people, events. There are probably some people right now going, is this thing on? Is my compass working? My compass seems to guide me to the most unavailable men or women over and over and over again. But that's not a true compass. That's what happens when our own organic sense of self, our own true sight, vision, gets clouded over, mucked up by somebody else's compass. I cannot tell you how many times I have woken up and found my mom sitting on my compass. Not literally, figuratively. Her thoughts, her beliefs. Now, I love my mother, so don't start thinking about sending her messages. But I don't want her sitting on my compass. She could sit next to me, but I'm going to be in the driver's seat of my own life. Make sense? There are times I travel a ton right now for work, and there are times I'm getting ready to go out on a stage someplace to speak, and all of a sudden it's like this little mom gnome pops up on my compass, starts messing around in my head like, oh, sweetheart, how could you have left your sweet, precious little baby boy at home all alone? He must be sitting out on the front stoop right now in the freezing cold snow, wondering, where is mommy? And for a minute, I'm like freaking out, like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot to leave my child's mittens and galoshes out. And it takes a minute, I have to shake it all off, and then I get that little mom gnome, and I'm like, Mom, first of all, we don't have a front stoop, okay? Second of all, we live in Southern California. It does not snow there. Your grandchild is happily at home with his daddy, probably being fed ice cream and jelly beans for breakfast and watching all kinds of garbage on TV. He's fine. I'm going to work. Bye-bye. You know? And I get out here. And the whole time I am honored enough to be in this space, I have one intention, and it is God, use me. Let something move through today that matters in your heart. Let something move through that activates, that awakens, that clarifies, that nurtures, that heals, that loves. But if every once in a while you see me kind of go like this or like that, it's because the whole time I'm up here, I have to dodge dive-bombing mom gnomes coming at me, trying to get in my head. I'll be doing my book signing later for What's Your What, and inevitably I'll have my little thing out, and I'm doing my best to write some kind of beautiful blessing for you, and a little mom gnome will pop up on my book, start trash talking me. Like, you know, you never should have left. Your place is at home, cooking and cleaning and darning the socks. Apparently, my mom gnome was born in the early 1800s. Do y'all know what darning socks is? It's sewing up holes in socks. There is a part of me on some core fundamental level that believes my life's purpose is sewing up sock holes, right? And I am telling you, not too long ago, really, there was a time, and it wasn't even that long ago, my son was a little bit younger, I used to actually keep a pile of my family's clothing that had holes in it. And periodically, I would go and I would gather up the holy clothes, and I would come and I would sit myself peacefully down by the fireplace, and I would mend my family's clothing. The only little issue to this is that I am a horrendous sewer. The worst. I would sew up a hole in the knee area of my child's pant leg, and it would look like this great big jagged scar running across the knee. Like Jaws himself had come and taken a bite out of the pant leg, you know? But I would still proudly send my child off to school because I would think, love sewed those pants. Love sewed those pants. And you want to know something? For a while, my child was too young to say anything about it. And my husband was too polite to say anything about it. But the day did come when I went and I gathered up all the clothes for mending, and I went and I sat myself down by the fireplace, and all of a sudden my family rose up and they were like, no more sewing. Put down the needle, back away from the sewing kit. Was I offended? Yes, heck yes. But let me tell you something, I hate sewing. I hate pricking my finger with the needle. I hate getting the thread all knotted up, doing what is not mine to do. But there is some part of me on some core fundamental level that got this notion, this message that doesn't belong to me, doesn't even belong to my mama, about what it means for me to be a woman, what it means for me to be a real mother, a real wife, how I have to behave, what I have to do. Do you know what I'm talking about? That voice that comes from outside somewhere, from society, from gender, race, religion, culture, media, wherever it comes from, telling me what it means to be a woman, telling you what it means to be a woman, to be a man, to be tall, short, fat, thin, whatever it is, who is sitting on your compass. You can love them if you do, like I love my mama, but they gotta go. Their thoughts, their beliefs, their hopes, their needs, their wants, their dreams get to go back inside of them. Whether we're talking about another person, an organization, a government, a poorly behaved president, whatever it is we're talking about, they get to take it all back inside of themselves. Their chaos, their distractions, their Twitter accounts get to go back inside of them so that you can focus on being who you came into this world to be. Does that make sense? Yes. So you review your compass. That's the first thing. Be vigilant about what or who is guiding you. And then the next step is to start to consciously compass yourself. Guide yourself on purpose. We're going to do that by seeking emptiness. You seek emptiness in 2 ways. First up, give it all away every single day. Be giving of your gifts, your skills, your talents, your time, your energy, your love, your finances. Be in circulation. The second way we're going to seek emptiness is by practicing being no thing. My mystic has been teaching about this. It's a big paradigm shift for me. I've always been very goal-oriented. I want this and that, and then I'll do that with that on the side. And this is, as Dr. Joe Dispenza says, it's about practicing being raw, usable source material for God to use as God so desires. Before I began speaking professionally, I had a private coaching practice where I would speak with clients for about 45 minutes, usually over the phone. I'd get an intake, and then I would create an audio download for them. It would be a combination of neuro-linguistic programming and hypnosis, psychology, energy work, prayer treatment, all kinds of things. It was a really successful business for me. And I hadn't made one of those audios in a while, and a few months back, I had the inspiration to make one for myself. And so I made this audio for myself. I listened to it for 21 days. Neuroscientists say if you do something 21 days, it creates new neural pathways in the brain, pathways of thinking, which creates pathways of expectancy, expecting your good, which creates pathways of behavior and physical results in the world. So I listened to it 21 days in a row, a couple times a day for 21 days. I loved the results so much that I actually made a product out of it. This is my shameless plug. It's called Finding the Gold Mines in Your Landmines. And the reason why I would love for you to pick up a copy is what it did for me is it helped me break out of all the windows and ceilings and walls that I had in my life that I didn't even know I had. Do you know what I mean? I thought I was cruising along pretty well. And it wasn't until I opened it up, stopped trying to get what I think I want, and opened it up to Spirit to take me, use me. I came to play. Let's go do something. What happened at the end of the 21 days after listening to that is I found myself driving to a fabulous estate in Malibu, California, where I officiated the wedding of a billionaire. Billionaire. When I got up on the stage to begin the ceremony, the first person I saw, like right where you are, was Sylvester Stallone. And I needed to take a minute. So as the opening music was playing, I literally turned my back on the crowd, about 300 very famous, successful folks. I turned my back, and I needed to have this private moment with God. I looked out at the ocean, which was right behind me, and I said, "Dear Lord, what on earth have you gotten me into?" Like Rocky himself is in the house. I'm just Julie. What's up? Why am I here? And then I remembered what my intention was with that CD that I'd made. It was, use me, Lord. It wasn't how to use me. It was, I came to play. Use me. And like this wave of calm washed over me. And what happened is I spent the next hour after officiating that wedding having all those big, fancy people come up to me telling me it was the most beautiful ceremony they'd ever seen. Never experienced anything like that before. Who am I? Where do I come from? What do I do? I have a book. Oh, how do I get it? I'm like, what? And that's how it works. 2 days after that, I was on an airplane being flown to Orlando, Florida, where I was filmed for this extraordinary documentary film called One of 49. It's about the tragic shootings that took place at Pulse nightclub. And more so, it's about the power of love that we have inside of ourselves that helps to guide us forward no matter what comes our way. It was a completely different but equally exquisite way to be used by Spirit. Not anything I would have ever thought to vision board or mind map or go for. But it was about simply being used. So you begin by reviewing your compass. What or who is guiding you? Then begin to consciously compass yourself. You do that by seeking emptiness. Make sure you're in circulation, giving of your gifts, skills, talents, abilities, time, energy, love, money. And then practice being no thing. Come to play. Bring it to the mat to play every day. And when you have those pieces in place, you just get to kick back and intend infinity. Expect the best. Expect greatness. Ancient Toltec shaman know what we're not willing to admit in our culture, and that is that we are dying in every second. Not our eternal self, not the part of us that lives on and on forever, but our opportunity to rock it in this particular bodysuit, it has a time clock on it, and that clock is ticking. Everything must be done now. That's not a scare tactic. That's a power tactic. You have this moment. We get to do something. We get to create something. We get to be something now. That flood that I went to, the water initiation, as Reverend Michael called it, was my wake-up call. It got me out of small, safe, constricted, playing it safe ways of thinking. That's why I made the audio. It helped break me out of that thinking. That's why I created the book, What's Your What, to help me have tools and strategies to figure out what is my purpose? Why am I here? How do I activate that? How do I get it out into the world? And then when I get off track, how do I get back on? That's what we get to do. We get to surround ourselves with a community, with a spiritual fellowship, with places that help us stay on track and cultivate our greatness. Every single day, I go out walking, and the first song on my playlist is John Legend's song, All of Me. The day that I officiated that wedding, the big fancy wedding, I was only supposed to be there for 20 minutes. They'd made that really clear. Like, you get in, you get out, okay? But what happened is I kept being invited to stay longer and longer. Stay for the reception, stay for the dinner, stay for the party. And finally, very, very late into the evening, I needed to take a break again. And so once again, I kind of turned my back on the whole big crowd, and I looked back out at the ocean. This time it was pitch black darkness. There's just a little bit of starlight, faint starlight, making its way through the thick, foggy nighttime clouds. And my eyes moved past the paparazzi and the security guards dotting the beach. And it was like I got locked in on the white foam of the waves just crashing against the shore, over and over again. There was something about the passion of it that I could feel my longing. Do you ever long? We move so fast in this life, do you ever take time to feel your longing? That longing to be everything you can possibly be in this lifetime. That feeling welled up into me like, God, use me, use all of me. And right when I had that thought, John Legend's song, All of Me, came on. And I was like, that is the coolest thing. How sweet, how cute is this universe? And it just gave me all I needed to be able to turn around and get back out and be around all those folks again. And as I turned around, I had been seated right next to the stage. As I turned around, I came face to face with John Legend himself. He was singing the song. I thought it was a recording, but he was right here in front of me. And the way his piano was facing, it was like we were just locked eyes, okay? Now I want to be clear, I do understand that probably he was there to serenade the bride, okay? I get that it was probably about her. But in that moment, it was one of those moments, you know, when you feel like the whole universe is just swooped in behind you, like giving you the great big bear hug. You could give one to yourself right now. Just feel what it feels like to give yourself that kind of love. That feeling like, oh, baby, I gotcha. I gotcha. You have been through some rough road. There have been some challenges. There's been some tough moments. But I gotcha. I'm with you. I've been free falling into that feeling for about a year now, ever since the flood. I've been free falling into that feeling that there is something that has me. Even when I can't see it, even when I'm not really sure it's there, even when I don't know for sure, there's a trust that's developing. I've been free falling into that sense that something has me, something will carry me, something will guide me. And my prayer has changed. My prayer has changed 1,000,000% now. It's gotten real simple. It's just broke all the way down, real simple, real childlike, not childish, but childlike. My prayer is like, God, let me be like a great big basket of ribbons and lace and sparkly beads and shiny glitter and Elmer's glue and clay, and mold me. Mold me, Lord. Make something wonderful out of me. Don't you want that? Make something wonderful. Make something magnificent. Make something, but use me, Lord, but use all of me. Don't you just use the pretty parts. Don't you just use the shiny, got it all together parts. You use all of me. You use the places in me that feel broke down and worn out. You use the places that don't feel ready yet, not complete, haven't finished, so afraid to take a single step, caring so much what you all think. Use that. Use the places where I feel I have been hurt, harmed, damaged beyond repair, and grow a garden in my scars, Lord. Make something that matters, make something that makes a difference. Isn't that really the prayer? Let there be something that is lasting, that has legs, that long after I'm gone, there is something that lingers, like the freshest of scents. That's the prayer. And we get there how? Review your compass. Be vigilant, what or who is guiding you in every moment. Seek emptiness on a regular basis. Give it away. Share. Play nice. Be kind. Give. As you give, you are given. And then intend infinity. Expect the best. Yes? Yes? Many blessings to you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.